Marcos accused me of trying to overthrow the government. Of course, I tried to overthrow him through the ballot, through a legal way. But he charged me with subversion. I told him I was a senator of the Republic, and I had to talk to every Filipino, whether they are subversive or not. I mean, I had to interview them, I had to talk to them and find out what's wrong with them. And he accused me of fraternizing with all of these people. No, I'd like to go back to my country because that's where my people are. They're suffering, and therefore I must join them.
Ninoy Aquino's assassination on August 21, 1983. It is considered the mother of all Philippine conspiracy theories. It remains unsolved to this day, and for another, it caused a massive upheaval in Philippine society with decade-long aftershocks. And still, the question remains, who killed Ninoy? Many people would have answered the question that it would have to be Ferdinand Marcos himself. For decades, he ruled the country and Ninoy was his greatest rival. At the same time, Marcos had nothing to gain and everything to lose from assassinating Ninoy as proved by history, making him improbable suspect. Ninoy and Ferdinand Marcos were friends. When Ninoy was in detention, two of them talked for an hour about good times. Ferdinand Marcos was actually considering Ninoy as his successor. He admired Ninoy for his being courageous fighter and his vigor. Others believe it was General Fabian Ver, the chief of the armed forces and close associate of Marcos. However, subsequent investigations resulted in the conviction of 16 soldiers who conspired to assassinate Ninoy. In a 2006 interview with Time, one of the men, Master Sergeant Pablo Martinez, alleged that the kill was ordered by Eduardo Danding Cuanco, a business tycoon and Ninoy Aquino's cousin, according to Galman. On the same day that he shot Ninoy, the actual triggerman, Rolando Galman, was shot and killed by soldiers. Both Aquino and Galman were brought to a military base, and rumors say it took 10 hours for a coroner to examine their remains. Marcos stated several hours later that Galman, a communist hitman, had acted on his own. Others, on the other hand, believe Marcos' wife, Imelda, was the brains behind the scheme. After all, the former First Lady was the target of many of Ninoy's most venomous verbal jobs. It could possibly have been due to resentment and jealousy, as Ninoy and Imelda were rumored to have dated before meeting their actual partners. Many personalities have been accused of the crime, both renowned and unknown, but the true perpetrator has never been identified. Ninoy's death is unquestionably one of the Philippines' greatest unsolved mysteries, twisted further by many conspiracy theories.
There must be a God, because then all of this suffering will be useless. I mean, if I'm suffering like this and there's no God, who will ever reward me? Who will ever pay me back? So there must be a God. So I felt then maybe it's a false consolation. I had to even invent him if there is no God, because that's the only way you can survive. Without him, Pat, you'll never make it. And as St. Paul said, I'm strongest when I was weakest. And I became strongest when I was down there on the floor in solitary confinement, alone. And it's only when he came to me that I really felt strongest. And therefore now, I have survived all of my vicissitudes because I know that there's this God interceding for us.